Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, dear students. How are you? I hope you'd be fine. This is Cambridge Lower Secondary, Book 7. And today we are going to do some questions related to exercise 15.2. We have already done with the first few questions in which we discussed how to convert hectares into meter square and vice versa. Now, based on that concept, we are going to do the next few questions, starting from question number 6, in which we are provided with a rectangle, and it says a builder buys a rectangular piece of land and the dimensions of the land are shown in the diagram as the length is 350 meters and the breadth is 80 meters. Okay, we had to find out the area of the land in hectares. So let's find out the area. And how are we supposed to do that? So for finding the area of a square, we do length multiply by length, and all the dimensions are equal. But for finding the area of a rectangle, we have to multiply the length with breadth. So here we have 80 multiplied by 350. When we will multiply these two quantities, we will get the area in meter square, right? Which would be 28,000 meter squares. So this is the area. Now let's figure out that what it says. It says work out the area of land in hectares. So after finding the area in meter square, we can easily convert it into hectares by dividing it with 10,000. And how are we going to do that? So we'll cross out the zeros with zeros. 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3. Then we are left with 28 upon 10. So we will compare 0 with 8. And here comes decimal between 2 and 8. So it gives us 2.8 hectares. So that's the area for this much land. Then next it says the cost of the land is $12,400 per hectare. And the builder says this land will cost me more than 34,000. So if the cost of land is 12,400 per hectares, means for 1 hectare we have to pay $12,400. And since the area of this land is 2.8 hectares, so what would be the cost of 2.88 hectares? Let us find out. 1 hectare cost 12,400. And how much land do we have? 2.8 hectares. So we will multiply these two and figure out that what would be the answer for this. What we will do, when we will move one decimal one place forward, 10 will be crossed. And then when we are left with 1240 into 28, and that's $34,720. It means the cost of this land, 2.88 hectares of land, is 34,720. And what does the builder say? Builder says that this land will cost me more than 34,000. So yes, the builder is absolutely correct. Why? Because it actually cost $34,720, which is $720 more than 34,000. So builder's statement is absolutely correct. Now the next question says a football pitch has an area. They are providing us with the area, which is 0.78 hectares, and the length of the court is given. They're saying work out the area of the football pitch in meters square. So that's very simple to figure out the area in meters square. We are provided with the area in hectares, and that's 0.78 hectares. Okay. And we have to find the area in meters square. For this, what we will do, we'll simply multiply it with 10,000. We have already learned it in the questions from 1 to 5. So upon multiplying it with 10,000, when we will move the decimal 2 places forward, 2 zeros will get cut and it will become 78. And then we will add the remaining zeros. So this is 7,800 meters square. So the area of this football pitch is 7,800 meters square. Now they're saying the length of the football pitch is 120 meters. What would be the width of the football pitch? This is very interesting question. Students, when we are supposed to find out the area, what do? We use the formula length into width. So when we are supposed to find out the width given the area, what we will do, we will make W the subject, and so the length will go get divided with the area. This would be the formula for finding the width out of the given area and the length. So what we will do, we will simply divide 7,800 meters square with 120 meters and we will get the answer. So when we will divide 780 with 12, it gives us 65 meters. And you can even check it. Upon multiplying 65 with 120, you will get this answer back, which is 7,800. It means the width of the court is 65 meters, right? Next, it says Alicia Ben share a piece of land in the ratio 1:2. 1:2 means one part goes to Alicia and two parts goes to Ben. And the area of the piece of land they share is 0.087 hectares. So what would be the area of Ben's piece? We have already learned area, ratio and proportion. So basically, what do we have to do? We have to, first of all, we have to convert 0.087 hectares into meter square. So it would be 0.087 multiplied by 10,000, which will be 1, 2, 3, 4. That is 0.870 meter square. So we have to share 870 meter square in the ratio 1:2. So 1 plus 2 is 3. So you have two options. We have 3 total parts in which we have to share 870 meter square. So either you can divide 870 with 3 first and we will get what we will do. We will first divide 870 with 3, which gives us that one part would be 290 meter square, right? So to find out the share of Alicia and Ben, Alicia's share is one part. It will be 1 multiplied by 290. And that's 290 meter square. But when we talk about Ben's share, so Ben's share is twice that of Alicia. So that's 2 multiplied by 290 and which is 580 meter square. So what we did, first we converted 0.087 hectares of land in meter square, which gave us 870 meter squares of land. Then we had to divide it in 3 parts because one part goes to Alicia, 2 parts goes to Ben. So we divided it with 3. We got 290. That is, each part contains 290 meters square of land. Since Alicia gets one part only, so she will get 290 meters square of land. And Ben will get 2 parts of the share, so he will get 2 multiplied by 290 and that's 580 meters square. Or what else we can do over here? We can do it like this. For Alicia's share, like we can take 870 multiply by 1/3. And for Ben's share, what we will do? We will again take 870 and multiply it with 2/3. What is this one? One part out of total 3 parts. For Ben, it's 2 parts out of total 3 parts. So this will also give you the same answers. That is 290 meters square and 580 meters square. And that's it. So we are done up to question number 8. Now let's move to question number 9. Now question number 9 is actually Related to question number 8, it says look back at question number 8 and discuss the methods that you used to answer the question. So we use two different methods, the ratio and proportion methods. And what are the advantages and disadvantages of the different methods? So some methods are easy, some methods are difficult. And which method do you think is the best? So I think using the ratio and proportion method is the best one. Okay. Now, let's get to the last question, question number 10. And in this question, what are we supposed to do? It says, a company wants to build a water park. The diagram shows a plan of the land the company wants to buy. It's a composite figure. It's not a square nor a rectangle, but it's composite figure of two rectangles. So basically, if we draw a line over here, it will be divided into two rectangles, right? And the first one is 1.5 is to 3 kilometers, but for the second one, it's 2 kilometers by, this length is how much? See, this length from top to bottom is 4 kilometers, where the bottom part is 1.5 kilometers. So this part above would be 4 minus 1.5, and that's 2.5 kilometers. Okay. So here in this question, it says the diagram shows a plan of land the company wants to buy, and the piece of the land is $5,200 per hectare. So the company wants to pay less than 5 million for the land. Can the company afford to buy the land? Yes or no? So first of all, we have to find out that what is the area of this land. To find the area of the land, let us divide it into two parts. And how are we supposed to do that? Area of land is equals to A1 plus A2, right? Let's say this one is A1 and this one is A2. So A1 is equals to 2 length multiplied by 2.5 the width. Again, I will tell you that the width is 4 kilometers from top to bottom, out of which the opposite to it of one of the parts is 1.5 kilometers. So the rest of the part would be 2.5 kilometers. Because if we bring it here and combine it from top to bottom, it will again give us a total of 4 kilometers. So if this one is 1.5, the above part would be 2.5, and that's how it completes a total of 4 kilometers, right? Next, what we will do, we will multiply 2 with 2.5, which gives us 5 kilometers square. Okay. And then it says that one more thing, students, we can do is since the lengths are given in 2 kilometers and 4 kilometers, let's convert them into meters by multiplying it with 10,000. So what we will do next, we will convert it into meters by multiplying it with 1,000. So this would become 2,000 meters and this would become 4,000 meters. Why are we doing that? Because we have to convert it into hectares, and converting kilometer square into hectares is a bit difficult. And we have learned how to convert meter square into hectares. That's easy. We are familiar with that. So let's do it in a simple way. So when we will multiply it with here, 2,000 with 2,500, what would it become? It would become 50,000,000. That is 5 million meter square. And the same thing will happen with A2. So A2 has the length of 3 kilometers, which is 3,000 meters. And the width is 1.5, that is 1,500 meters. So upon multiplying 3 with 15, we get 45. It would be 4500,000 meters square. So the total area would be the sum of the two, 5 million plus 4.5 million, and that's 9.5 million. That is 9,500,000 meters square. After finding the total area of the land, what we will do next, we will convert it into hectares because we are provided with the price of 1 hectares. See, 1 hectare cost $5,200. So let's see what would be the price of how many hectares do we have? For this, we will simply divide it with 10,000. So as we will divide it with 10,000, the answer will convert into hectares. We'll cross out 4 zeros with 4 zeros and we'll be left with 950 hectares. So this is the area of the land. 950 hectares. So if the price of land is $5,200 per hectare, that is 1 hectare cost $5,200. So what would be the cost of 950 hectares of land? For this, we will multiply the total area of land with the cost price per hectare. And that's 950 multiplied by 5,200, which is $4,940,000. That's 4 million, around 5 million. And the company wants to pay less than 5 million for the land. Can the company afford to buy the land? Of course, it can afford to buy the land since the price of the land is less than 5 million and the company wants to pay less than 5 million up to 5 million. So 4,940,000 is less than 5 million. So the company can easily afford to buy the land. And here this question is completed. Okay, students. So what did we do? We first found out we first cut the figure into two parts. Let me show you again. What we did, we first divided it into two parts like this, right? So here the length was 3 kilometers and the breadth was 1.5 kilometers. 3 kilometers is 3,000 meters and 1.5 kilometers is 1,500 meters. We multiplied these two and found out that the area of land is 4.5 million meter square. And for area number 2, what we did, we then found out what is the width over here. For this, we subtracted 4 with 1.5 and got the area of 2.5 kilometers. So 2.5 kilometers is 2,500 meters and this one is 2,000 meters. So we multiplied these two and found out that the total area of the land above is 5 million meter square. Then we added the two to find out the total area, which was 9,500,000 meter square. Next, we converted it into hectares because we were provided with the piece of land. The price of the land in hectares, 1 hectare cost $5,200. So if we get to know what is the area of land in hectares, we can easily multiply it with 5,200 to find out the total price of the land. So we found it out in hectares by dividing it with 10,000 and here we get 950 hectares. So since the area of this land is 950 hectares and each hectare cost $5,200, so we finally multiplied these two together and we found out the price of this land would be $4,940,000. So the price of the land, after discovering it, we come to know that the company is willing to pay less than $5 million. And since the cost of the land is also less than $5 million, so the company can easily afford to buy the land. And that's all. Here we have completed this exercise. I hope students it helps. And if it's useful, so please like the video, share it with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you are new and take care. Allah Hafiz.